Great Value Clandis Owens with a dick decided to start beef with me on Facebook. And I'm so ready to get into this. Kind of get a sense of where this is going with the cover photo and the profile picture. I am a grifter because I'm not following the woke talking points of the black man. ... All caps. LOL. Snowflakes. You asked for it. I asked for it, guys.
So I see my latest video has set off some snowflakes. Oh well.
Oh well. He's so sassy.
See, I've gained a lot of new followers. And man,
how many is that, by the way? How did this get here? How did this get here? I don't even got a lot. I just don't think you're good with numbers, but we'll get into that. No, we will not, but thanks for hiring your paid actors and outside agitators. They're horrible at what they do. That they are. You're really bad at this. You're getting no traction.
In my last video, and most of the videos that I produce, I start with greetings to those of you who back the blue. So if that's not you, then my content is not for you.
Okay, so you admit you want an echo chamber. You just want people to force feed you and regurgitate the same things y'all say. So it's just a cycle of repetitive racist behavior and ideology. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that sounds very conservative.
And let me cover another thing, wokeite.
What is that?
It's not all about you.
You're right. This is about Steve Perkins, but you know.
Now, I know that's hard to grasp for people who live on social media.
Didn't you just say you got a bunch of new followers? Okay.
And are addicted to posting selfies 24/7.
What are you even talking about? What are you talking about?
But I speak up for those who are laying their lives on the line every day. And thanks to a lot of the lies, their calling has become more dangerous than ever before.
Has it? Said it's become one of the most dangerous jobs. Okay, logging workers. Police officers. 22. Remember when I was saying you were bad at math?
So let me take a verbal 12 gauge to some of these comments. And then I'm going to delete you.
I'm going to take my Glock 19.
Now this ass clown here is typical of the current day brain dead Marxist Democrat.
But I have to say we're capitalist.
Okay, what's her net worth? An estimated 114 million. Do you know what Marxist doesn't like? Rich people. I don't have to Google that. This is just common sense.
See, he's the real racist.
Okay, I would really like for you to elaborate.
He sees blacks as pets.
Okay, now I really need you to elaborate.
Or children.
I really need you. Okay, so this is your proof, a cover photo of me with night shift posing right before Steve Perkins' birthday parade? Yeah, what logic do you have here? That I'm hanging out with people that I've grown close to over the months? That's crazy.
In his eyes, he's allowed to differ from other whites, but...
Okay, so the level of disgust I feel seeing the same pig department responsible for murdering 2 black people back-to-back in 2 weeks, factual information, Steve Perkins and Jay Desjarnette, rest in power, taking literal children, this is called propaganda, aka propaganda, true, you would know this is your literal job, to learn about a black historical figure is hard to put into words. Shame on y'all. You don't care about black people in your own city, let alone in history. How about acknowledging your racist-ass ways and fucking correcting them? So how does this prove anything that you're saying? I feel like you're saying things and then just using screenshots, hoping that your audience doesn't have enough critical thinking skills to put the twos together and realize that it's not adding up. I don't know. That's just me.
But us blacks, we are victims, and we must all think alike.
Okay, so let's just look at the origins of police, right? Slave patrols. The origins of modern-day policing can be traced back to the slave patrol. The earliest formal slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s. Here's the oath for the North Carolina Slave Patrol. I, person's name, well, I wouldn't say person, that's going a little extreme, pig. I, pig's name, do swear that I will, as a searcher for guns, swords, and other weapons among the slaves in my district, faithfully and as privately as I can, discharge the trust reposed in me as the law directs to the best of my power, so help me God. And this continued until the passing of the 13th Amendment, basically saying, hey guys, slavery's legal if you can pin them for a crime, right? Right? So are you tracking? Okay, so America makes up 5% of the global population, but 20% of the world's prison population. And it has increased 500% since the 70s. 1 out of every 3 black boys born today can be expected to go to prison in their lifetime, compared to 1 out of 17 white boys. Black people make up 13% of the U.S. population, but 37% of the prison population in the world's largest police state. Life sentences? 48% are black people. So, I don't know. Food for thought. I know you're bad at math, but it's not that hard.
And if we don't, it's his place to tell us we ain't black.
Where did I say that? You didn't even put a screenshot for that. You're just wild. That's wild. I wish that people that watched me were this stupid. I could just say whatever the hell I wanted.
And you ain't black.
Again, I don't support Biden. He has Palestinian blood on his hands. I don't know where you're getting this from. You're just projecting.
Now, this one may be an example of a bot.
Anissa, a bot. The police department, my bad. The Decatur Pigs department paid you to come down here and talk all this shit to us. And you can't even do your own research. Anissa's been on the news more times than you can count. Like, we've established that your numbers are not your strongest suit.
Because there's still a lot of those on Facebook. X has gotten much better. Shout out to Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, this guy's definitely not a grifter. Christian, conservative, creative. Notice how he didn't put that in a sentence, because those 3 words are not compatible in a sentence. They don't go together. Follower of Christ, MAGA country.
But if this is a human, then his head is so.
And you call her a he? Like, I'm not even like pronouns. That's just some like old school conservative racist shit, right? Like, we all know like what you're trying. That's just all right, bro. That's corny.
So far up his sorry ass that his first name should be Colin.
Let me know when I'm supposed to laugh.
Coon. I'm sorry, you have me confused with somebody else.
Not the I know you are, but what am I?
Christ has set me free, and whom the Son sets free is free indeed. People who think like this are miserable, and that's why they run around causing chaos.
Okay, so again, the way y'all do this, the way this propaganda works, right? Let's just get it straight. 5%. And most of that was because of police interference. So only 5% got to that point. And you're trying to talk this about us, but this isn't even a picture of us. We have not gotten to this point. The police have tried. They have showed up with armored vehicles and AR-15s and shotguns. Literally one of the first marches. But you're not going to use those pictures because that does not make your team look good. This makes your team look good. And it's not even us. So I don't know. Maybe like rub 3 brain cells together.
When in reality, blacks in the United States have been below the rate of replacement for several years.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? This is so dumb.
So why would racists have to hunt you down? Hell, all they got to do is sit back.
Notice how you use like hypotheticals and random like straw men and other completely different topics in general to try to get your point across, when it's literally dismantled when you just look up statistics. That's why those exist.
60% of all the robberies, the shootings, and the homicides in America are committed by black people, often against other black people.
Black Americans are 7 times more likely than white Americans to be falsely convicted of serious crimes. Wow. Look how easily this shit is dismantled.
This is...
Okay, so how are you going to have all this money that he's going to talk about later, and your camera quality and audio quality is this bad? I just can't.
My skin color does not dictate what or who I support.
It kind of does, though, because this is literally encapsulating it right here. You are a token. You are a token for white supremacy. Like, that might sound crazy coming from my, like, white-ass mouth, but that is what you are. That is what you are doing. because you are doing a bunch of word salad. You haven't brought up any actual statistics about the point that you were talking about, the specific point. You'll use stats about other things that are loosely related, but not dead set on the discussion, which is why it falls apart.
And if you do, then that makes you a fool. You's a damn fool, as my dad would say. So
Your dad failed you.
now I'm a grifter because I'm not going along with the script for the black man.
Ways of getting money dishonestly that involves tricking someone. Yes, you have lied about multiple things that are statistically proven. So yeah, you're grifting.
Again, this is like this cognitive dissonant retardation that
Oh God, that's so cringe. You got to be in your 50s, like mid to late 50s, and you're talking like a edgelord middle schooler on Reddit that just discovered the internet. That's so goofy.
I love to point out to people. You know, sin and hate make you stupid. But when you allow yourself to be baptized in blackness bullshit, then
What are you saying?
this is what happens. Let me point this.
Like, no one's talking about black supremacy right now. Like, no one has mentioned black supremacy. No one is doing like any like black conspiracy. Like, we just want like people just want justice for Jade and Desjardins and Steve Perkins. That's it. No one's doing no like white people are better, black people are better. Well, your side's doing the white people are better, but
Last year alone, I traveled over 35,000 miles to honor 34 fallen officers in 22 different states out of my pocket.
sure you did.
My brothers Kyle Riaz and retired officer Hal.
Look at that. This is the definition of grifting. You all look like you touch yourselves in a circle to every episode of Joe Rogan when it drops. You can't convince me otherwise.
For law enforcement today last.
Bro, that's you. Y'all guys are grifters. You guys are grifters. This is literally political theater. You guys are, it's kind of actually pathetic that you would sell your soul like this.
Year. And so when they found out that I was spending out of what should be going into my retirement, they told me I have to go public with this in order to be able to reach more colleagues. And
They're like, you need crowdfunding so that you can make even more money off this. Okay, the pig departments are not paying you enough to do their propaganda. Okay, you need more.
so while you're sitting in your mama's house every day, killing whatever brain cells you have left
I live on my own.
with drugs and jerking off the porn, this
I'm so glad I had my queer beer on hand for that.
this is what I'm doing, jackass.
You were literally calling people keyboard warriors, and here you are behind a fucking screen calling people jackass is what I do.
I've been working since you were itching in your sperm donor's pants. Yeah, I said sperm donors and not dads, because many of you fools that fall for this kind of stir-fry foolishness is because you don't have a father. You don't have a dad to instill proper guidance in you, teaching you honor, teaching you worth.
So this was my father, right? United States Marine Corps. By the way, this is also my father next to me, right after I completed Marine Corps combat training. And before you're like, oh, but I bet you dropped out, I bet you got kicked out. Me getting promoted to corporal, E4.
That has to come from a man.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
And that's why you can be so easily misled by these colored communists you follow.
Anyone talking like that is weird, but it's just so, it's like blunt force trauma to the face. What the fuck? Why are you talking like that?
Me and my wife make our money the old-fashioned way.
They earn it.
Obviously,
Why didn't you show us how you earned your money? I'm just saying, just show us. Just show us the paper trail. Just show us the paper trail.
I didn't have to repeat the alcoholism and the domestic violence that I saw from my parents on a regular.
Do you think this is going to make people agree with your really shitty points? Like, at all? Like, there's no sympathy here. You are an asshole. Like, you are not a good person.
That I didn't have to spend my life surrounded by criminals and crack houses like I saw growing up. And the reality is many of those people didn't look like me.
Yeah, that's because like crime, drug addiction, all this stuff is literally corresponds with poverty. Where there is poverty, there is crime. That's how that works. Like it's not a black or white thing. It's a capitalism thing.
And the ones who did were often criticized for so-called acting white by the same sorry-ass people like you. My wife.
This guy got bullied for being the Cub Scouts. He got bullied for being in the Boy Scouts. For sure. For sure. He's like this because he got bullied in middle school. For sure.
And I were taught and still believe in honoring God and loving people.
Bro, it is not church. What does this have to do with like police reform, prison abolition? What does this have to do with the topic at hand? Jesus Christ, take your ADHD meds.
Regardless of what they look like. Working hard and achieving the American dream. We are not interested in your victim Olympics.
Stats speak for themselves. I don't have to just stats, scoreboard.
What we have is not white privilege, it's Christ privilege.
He can't go a minute. He can't go a minute without mentioning his man JC. He can't.
When you have a new life in him, when you've been born again in Jesus Christ, all of this nonsense, oppressed crap has no place. We don't wake up every day saying the white boogeyman is out there plotting with the popo to get us.
Well, they're not plotting with the popo. They are the popo. Like, you know this. You hang out with them. You know their playbook.
We're not looking for microaggressions in everybody that doesn't look like us. We're not worried about systemic racism and these racist.
Well, then you're dumb. Like, you're just dumb. I don't know what to tell you. Just because you got lucky and you have some money doesn't mean that your family members, not even distant, aren't struggling because of these oppressors and the oppressive systems that they keep in place. People like you are keeping in place. You're a grifter. This is crazy.
It's systems put in place by the white man. Because it's funny, those same systems have produced more black millionaires in America today.
I got a fun one for you. Billionaires. There are 16 black billionaires. Okay, so 16 billionaires out of 2,781. I know you're bad at math, but this is not rocket science.
But it takes discipline, planning, sacrifice,
luck,
hard work, all the things that Marxists like Black Lives Matter got people like you fooled into believing.
You know, Black Lives Matter extends into Republican, Democrat, liberal, and leftist spaces. That, like, Marxists are not Democrats. I already explained that to you with a little clip. Marxists, Leninists, Maoists, communists, socialists, democratic socialists, they are not capitalists. So they would not be democratic because the Democratic Party operates within the capitalist system. Leftists want to dismantle that. You are a literal cornball.
Is whiteness. That's why your false god, Karl Marx.
It's really rich. The guy that brings up a 2,000-year-old dead guy from a fairy tale book keeps calling Karl Marx a false god. No one's praying to this dude.
Called you useful idiots.
You would know a thing or two about a useful idiot, huh? It's like looking in a mirror.
See, we believe in surrounding ourselves with people that share our faith and our values, not choosing people.
A conservative.
Based on whether or not.
Dude, Turning Point USA? Bro. Yeah, you're a grifter. That's crazy.
They share our skin tone. Hashtag Christ over color.
Did you just say hashtag? Let me get a sip of my queer beer. That's not how hashtags work, dude. You put them in the description of a video so they're easier to find. God, you're such a boomer.
And when you live your life like this, there is so much freedom and joy.
How is there freedom in subscribing to a religion that literally restricts your gender identity, your sexual identity, your ability to like listen and hang out with certain people because you'll be ostracized from your religious group? Yeah, freedom.
One of the things that people all over the country know me for is my laugh and my smile.
Who knows you? You got 650 followers on here and like 400 on Twitter. That's crazy. You were just talking about people being off online social media. That's parasocially chronically online because no one knows who you are.
And that's what's wrong with you clowns. You worship at the altar of blackness in your woke churches. And that is
You're just like word salading because like none of this is like you have no proof for any of this either. Like
wickedness. And your life will not be blessed until you repent of that. That hate you walk around with every day for other people.
You mean your colleagues and the pigs that you support?
In most cases that you don't even know.
Again, goes back to the pigs you support.
That have done nothing to you.
Again, goes back to the pigs that you support.
It's killing you from the inside out. And it's going to lead your soul straight to hell.
Sounds like the call's coming from inside the room, dude.
Rumor went out that Al Sharptongue was going to be in Decatur for justice for Steve.
He's so jealous. That's a jealous hater. You're gonna OD on haterade.
Blacks kill blacks over nothing every day and 5 times on Saturdays and Sundays in Chicago, Memphis, Oakland, St. Louis.
Okay, so here's a crazy idea, right? Me and you both know what redlining is, right? So if you had decades of redlining, right, which basically was racist housing policies where they basically restricted house loans for people of color and other minorities and secluded them to a red outlined part of the map, which then created ghettos. So, of course, black people are going to kill black people more than they kill white people if they were subjected to being in the same environment for so long and not having a chance to just even branch out of where they grew up. It's intergenerational. What I don't get is why people don't talk about white-on-white crime or Hispanic-on-Hispanic crime or anything like that. It's almost like that's not a thing. That's just a talking point racists and white supremacists created so that they can be like, hey, look at this. This is an issue, even though, like, white people kill more white people than any other. Like, it's like, do you hear yourself? Like, do you really think you're smart when you say this, or do you know that, like, it's just for your really dumb audience?
So April said to me, Hollywood, you're like an OG conservative. You've been
Dude, that's so cringe.
in this since the late 90s.
Oh, my gosh. So you've been grifting a hot minute, and you're still irrelevant. That's really sad.
What was it like to go through the Obama years knowing then what the rest of us know now?
What do you even mean?
That was a good question.
No, it wasn't.
Until 2020. Until defund the police. Until David Dorn. Until all cops are bastards.
Do you think this is new? Do you think 2020 was the year they officially were like, we need to do something about the police? Have you been, you can't. This is just not true. It has been culturally significant saying fuck the police for decades. In the 90s, when you were wearing that shitty outfit, people were saying fuck the police. This is like brain rot.
And until the Lord convicted me.
A grift.
What about those families who are grieving a loss of a son,
Like
a
Steve
daughter,
Perkins' family?
a husband,
Like Catrella Perkins?
a mom, a dad,
Like Steve Perkins' kids?
for nothing that they did wrong?
Like Steve Perkins?
All because they were willing to lay their lives down for a complete stranger.
What?
I'm there to put my arms around them and to tell them that their loved ones' lives matter. And
If the loved ones are pigs, then no.
gives everyone a sense of hope that just maybe we can get our country back on track.
Yeah, you're right. We got to do something about the rising prison population and oppression that black people are facing by the hands of state-funded terrorists. You're right.
So you can take that grifter nonsense and shove it up your sorry woke ass.
You literally just showed a slideshow of you grifting.
You are not hashtag Steve Perkins.
That's me. I couldn't figure out how to get the filter to work. That was so old. That's months old, dude. But damn, them piercings did go hard though.
Most of you clowns did not know Steve Perkins.
He graduated from the same high school as me. He worked at the same plant as one of my uncles. And it doesn't matter. I don't have to have known him to know that he should not have died that night over a truck that the cops were illegally assisting a tow truck driver in stealing. It's not. I just have a moral backbone and care about other people. I don't care if I know them. Free Palestine, you know?
If Steve Perkins had been killed by a black criminal like most black males under the age of 48, you wouldn't give a damn.
No, he would still feel bad, but our tax dollars didn't literally pay for the bullets that took his life. Use your brain.
You have to give the responses your masters trained you without looking up any fact.
That's a based-ass photo, by the way.
Because from the beginning, the woke social justice warriors kept changing the story. First, it was wrong house. Then I heard illegal repossession.
Yeah, this is what's called speculation when not all the information is brought forward.
To then he was unarmed.
You do know he was on his own property at 2 a.m. The police didn't knock on his door with their lights on to let him know he was there. They just pulled up and hid and like protected a dude while he stole his truck. So yeah, he's well within his right as an American citizen under the Second Amendment to go out with a gun on his front lawn to make sure his property isn't stolen. If this was a white dude, you would be having the complete opposite reaction because you're a grifter.
If that body cam footage would have not been leaked, those same lies still would have been running rampant today. This is the result of allowing your kids to be indoctrinated by weirdos and perverts.
There he goes again saying some crazy nonsense without any proof. How are we perverts? How are we perverts? We just know how math and stats work.
Night shift, night school, or night watch.
So, can you read? It says night shift. You called us a pervert and then changed night shift for night school. Like, you are misleading on purpose. That's disgusting. We're a group of community members that get together and protest and use our First Amendment right. I also use my Second Amendment right. For all the little trolls watching, yeah, I get why you hide behind anonymous accounts.
Whatever is what you get when you dumb down the public education system. And you bait gullible young people into going into universities to get degrees that aren't worth the paper they're printed on.
You're halfway right. It's because of the way we set up jobs. I'm not getting into a capitalist rant right now.
So I talked with some residents of Decatur, and they asked me, what do I
Where's the footage?
think about their situation
Which residents did you talk to?
based on what I've seen traveling the country for the past 4 years.
Why is there no footage of the residents you talked to or screenshots? You showed a lot of screenshots of us and then lied about the screenshots, which was crazy.
My advice was to follow the example of St. George, Louisiana, and Baton Rouge.
See, earlier he's like, this is an echo chamber, a safe space for bootlickers, and if you don't like that, you should leave so that we can comfortably be bigoted. And then here you are being like, that's the solution. We actually should just be crybaby bitches and just go get in our little safe space corners away from all the other people that don't want to get murdered for just not agreeing with the cops and their historic behavior. But I don't know. Maybe, what do I know? I just know how math and stats work.
They can get these professional protesters to be their police.
What does a professional protester mean? Because I'm broke. I am medically retired as a veteran, by the way, so that might trigger you. But I'm not making buttloads of money off this. In fact, sometimes I skip meals so that I can make it to these protests. You don't know us. I've slept in my car because I live an hour away. You don't know us, little bro. You don't know us.
Police force. Let's see how that goes. Hashtag Art of the Deal.
What are you? Is Art of the Deal the Trump book or something? God, am I so chronically online? You're such a fucking nerd. Oh, you're quoting Trump like it's Bible scripture.
Marxism in all of its forms, whether that be critical race theory.
Okay, so Marxism is literally a economic theory. Critical race theory is sociology and societal and how race comes into play in different aspects of life. That's not economic. I mean, you can get into economics with it, but it's not a branch of what are you saying?
Black liberation theology, gender theory.
Gender and is not economics. What are you, dude? I feel like I can like smell your brain rotting through the video.
will eventually destroy everything that it takes control of.
No source. Trust me, bro.
Looked at any college protests lately?
Yeah, where the cops came in and literally beat the shit out of college students for exercising their First Amendment right after watching counter protesters also fucking attack those protesters and not do their job and help protect the protesters. Yeah. You're so stupid.
Let the people that want to worship those false gods and traffic that nonsense run their own city
I'm in your head. Fucking, I'm in your walls.
into the ground. The people that want to live in peace, pay their taxes, serve others, and
We want to pay our taxes and live in peace. Like, I'm pretty sure that everyone wants to pay their taxes and live in peace. Some of us just want our tax dollars to stop funding the murder of innocent people.
and know that if you point a gun at a police officer, you're trying to be a recipient of a Darwin Award.
I'm trying to find the right words for this. Don't worry. If I see you in person, I'll tell you.
Because weak men make hard times.
I mean, we saw the picture of my dad, right? Unless you consider older Marines weak, and then, you know, Marines in general weak, maybe. I'm not even a dude. What am I talking about? I don't need to defend men.
So my next video on this will go deeper into the actual night of the incident.
Sure
My
it will.
main focus is on fallen officers, and as of this recording,
Dude, can you bump those numbers up for us?
there have been 64 already this
Let's go! It's not enough.
year. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to get to it.
Rest in peace, bitches.
And that's the one thing that bothers me about this blame shifting game.
It's not blame shifting. It's just a number game. And the numbers, I've already said them.
We have a culture that seems to not understand that if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
You didn't say shit about this kid. You didn't say shit about Jane Desjardins. Play stupid game, win stupid prizes. What did this kid do to deserve to die? What did this kid do to deserve to die? This kid, this child. Like I said, I got words. If I see you, I'll say them.
I'm a grown man,
Yeah, you should start acting like one.
and I am responsible for my actions.
Yeah, Jaden Desjardins was not a grown man, so
I watched my pops get arrested on more than one occasion
don't give a shit. Didn't ask.
growing up. But even in that, he taught me respect for authority and law enforcement.
Yeah, obey, get in line. Literally, you're talking about bots, and then you're literally like, hey, it's good to be a bot. You should just fall in line, do as they say. That's so crazy. You have no backbone.
He never resisted. He always complied.
Father sounded like a weak man.
My younger brother was the same equal opportunity ass kicker. When the cops came, he complied. He took his arrest like a man, and that's why he's alive today to turn his life around.
So you admit that, like that's such a hard sentence to unpack because you're just literally sitting there being like, yeah, my black brother is alive today because he did exactly as the officers told him to. Meaning that, like, you just think that, like black people should be shot by cops for, like, just being like, nah, dude, I'm not going. That's bogus. Like, no, that's a bullshit thing. Because we see it all the fucking time. They're not resisting. They're being kidnapped. There are people that are, like, 50% of wrongful convictions are black people. Like, this is not rocket science. And you're very disgusting for trying to paint it this way.
To me, it's plain that Steve made some very bad decisions that night.
Like what, buying that house? Coming out with a gun to make sure his truck wasn't stolen? What mistake did Steve Perkins make that night?
The last one cost him his life. But that gets lost and buried intentionally in all these cases where the race narrative comes into play.
I got words. Just if you cross the bridge, hit me up. I'll give them to you.
And these greasy preachers and these slimy lawyers get involved and merchandise starts getting produced.
How is this merchandise? This is not even like a design. This is literally just a hashtag with Steve's name on it. And almost half the clips you had like a blue shield on your left, like, chest, right? or like all the stuff you have has some like police logo on it. That's merch, right? That's actual propaganda. This is literally just a shirt with someone's name on it.
And it's like, what in the?
Literally, what is this? The Fallen. You're literally doing the thing that you're complaining about. Right there on your shirt. That's crazy.
This becomes a big business. Sadly,
The call is coming from inside the house.
the most important lesson about critical thinking,
Is that you don't have it.
because the culture is rotten. They count on it.
That's a lot of base individuals in that photo, in that video.
But you know, they'll never live in those communities that they claim to care so much about.
What do you even? That's such a what? Yeah, if you can afford like a house or whatever, why not buy a house? Like, yeah, if I could afford to not live in my apartment right now, I wouldn't live in my apartment right now. That's just because I would like to have my own little space one day. But like 60% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Like 90% of like houses are unaffordable to the average income earner in that area. There's like 28 abandoned homes per homeless person, bro. There's like 600K homeless people. We got like 45, 50 million people starving. Like, what are you talking about right now? You're just like so like I just think you just don't think you before. I just don't think you think before you speak.
This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
He's trying so hard to be serious, dude. Hollywood. Why is there so much time left? Is there something? What the fuck is this? He paid to have this made. That's crazy. So, fun fact. Cheers, this is my final beer of the night. In the middle of editing, I realized that this white supremacist grifting bootlicker blocked me. So the video's still up. I can obviously see it when I'm not logged in, right? But I go over to Opera and I shared it and I can't see it even when I search it. I can't. It's gone. It's gone. Why are you running? Why are you so scared? It's too late. I already screen grabbed all of it.